Thank you, everybody, for being here on this fourth Club Creator session. I am Teresa Harris, International Membership Chair. I am happy to see Winnie Teo, who is on our committee, our core committee, and our presenter today, our Chief Club Creator, also on the core committee, does a lot for us, has Zonta in her blood, and will be presenting today, Ans-Marie Van Erp from District 22. And we welcome all of you. Ans, take it away.
Thank you so much for the lovely introduction, and a warm welcome also to all of you online. We were so pleased to see all the registrations coming in for this fourth Club Creator session. Each of those sessions has a theme, and in a moment I will reveal what the theme is for this session. One of the things that I wanted to say is, particularly to those who are joining for the first time, I'm really thrilled that you are online. And if you think, oh, I would like to know what happened or what was discussed at the other sessions, we have in the chat, before you joined, you may have not seen it, but we have in the chat links that will show all the recordings and all the PowerPoint presentations from the previous session. So fortunately, you won't have to miss out. All of that information is right there that will help you to create a new club for your district. Now, we have set aside an hour, so I will really use all that time. I'm going to ask Teresa to set the scene for us.
Hello, everybody. Ans-Marie and I are so happy that you have taken time out of your schedule. We know you have other places that you could be, but you care so much about Zonta membership and making new clubs, helping us expand, that you are here. And I thank you for that. I would love to recognize Ans-Marie as a core committee member. And also, she has a special name, as some of you know. She is our Chief Club Creator, which means she coordinates all the district club creators of the world. And I think she does a swell job. And we are here today for the fourth session. Now, I'm going to put in the chat the links to the first 3 sessions in case you missed 1 or 2 and you want to catch up. So in a moment, I'll be doing that. But for now, the floor is yours, Ans.
Okay, thank you so much. It's always such a lovely introduction, Teresa. Thank you very much. As I mentioned earlier, we are all in different time zones. So I have to start by saying to some of you, welcome, good morning. To others, I have to say good afternoon. And of course, to others again, I have to say good evening. We're really thrilled. When I saw the registrations coming in and I realized we are from all, well, at least 24 districts. We have lieutenant governors, we have, of course, district club creators, and we have new club chairs online. And I saw the registrations coming in. We were both very thrilled. We had a very successful session. The first session, as you know, we always do these sessions twice to make sure that we cover as much as we can across the globe. And the first session was really a lovely success, and I'm pretty sure that this will be the same. Now, we have titled this session. In a moment, you will see that I'll start the screening of the sharing of the PowerPoint, and you'll see how we have titled this session. I mentioned a moment ago that we have themed this session looking back, moving forward. We are 1 year in the biennium, and it's really time to take a moment and review the club creation processes as they take place around the world, but also at the same time, move forward. Later on, you will see how fast we are moving forward. But I definitely would like for you to all rename yourself so that we can see your position, your district, but also, of course, your name. Okay, just have a quick look at what we are going to cover this session. We will have a video. We will talk a little bit more about some of the tools and the resources that we have used and that we have demonstrated that we have success with those tools. We are going to go back to this concept of the bus driver, the club creator, because some of you may be very familiar with that, but for others, it might be still a little bit of a new term. So it's important that we reintroduce them again. The second quarter, we will talk about, is it working? Is what we are doing giving us the results that we wish? As you know, it's about positioning Zonta for the future and growing Zonta through new clubs. We will then also have, and this is perhaps an important mention here, that the breakout room is not something that everybody's familiar with, but we will introduce the how it works. But the most important part of that breakout room is to come together and have a conversation with each other about communication. Communication between the lieutenant governor and the district club creator, but also the district club creator and the new club chairs. What we want to know when you are going to go in your breakout rooms is, how is it working for you? Do you meet? And if so, how often do you meet? And what do you discuss at those meetings? So a bit closer to the time, I'll tell you a little bit more about how to get into those breakout rooms. Now, we are going to spend a little bit of time about how to get to charter. Particularly, Teresa feels a lot of questions when clubs have their 15 members, what's next? So, of course, we will touch on that. And then we are going to talk about a very important celebration, but let's get underway. Now, this is a video that some of you may or may not have seen yet, but it really brings to the forefront the importance of highlighting how Zonta has changed over time. And this is particularly relevant for us creating new clubs. We are doing things differently now because the times have moved on and we have to move faster. So have a look at this video, and when we finish the video, we will come back to some of the important messages from this video. Hear it? Everything will move faster now. And we will touch on that concept quite a few times throughout this session, because in the past, Zonta International has allowed for 2 years for the creation of a club. But what we have seen in this biennium is that the process of creating a club has in many instances been much, much faster. So we will give you some examples of how you can actually achieve that goal. Because if you wait too long, as we have also seen, they will leave, they will move out of the door, and it's very disillusional for many of us. Now, let's just have a pause here and look at this ladder of success. I really like the way in which some of the clubs have climbed the ladder of success with starting a guest list. And you know, in previous sessions, we have covered how to make a guest list and set up your social media account. We also have touched on how to prepare for an announcement event, and we have all the resources and all the tools for you in Dropbox, from the agenda to the PowerPoint presentation to the invitations. And then when you have your announcement event, of course, it is about members signing up and collecting dues. And remember, everything moves faster. So in a moment, I will show you the importance of when members sign up and what the benefits are. Then, of course, comes the organizing event. And in some instances, we have seen this ladder of success being executed in less than 2 months. We have seen some remarkable results. And particularly, of course, celebrating the charter ceremony. So we are going to continue with this ladder of success. This is what I mentioned a moment ago. When you have an interest expressed by somebody that they really wish to join, don't wait until they have 15 before you collect the dues. The important component here is to join them as soon as you can, as a supporting member or as a club member of a sponsoring club. And I have outlined the benefits there for you. What it means is that those members don't have to wait until we have 15 members. They can already have that immediate connection to Zonta. They can also have access to the Zonta International website and find out a lot about our projects and our work that we do. And this is important. Everyone who joins gets an invitation to a new member orientation. Zonta hosts these sessions monthly, and both Teresa and I have seen how many members join and come to these sessions and find out more about Zonta. And probably the most important thing is that once then the new club is chartered or ready to charter, it's very easy to transfer from a supporting member to club member. And it's the same, of course, the same process for when they join as a club member. The additional benefit, of course, is that when they join an existing club initially, that adds to the district totals. And again, it's very easy to transfer. So remember this particular slide when we're talking about and moving forward and as fast as possible. This is what we mean. One of my favorite slides. This is a slide that might take you back to the very first time when we were talking about club creators. Many of you know that it was a concept thought of by Zonta International President Ute, who really had the idea that chief club creators and district club creators and club creators, as we call them, or new club chairs is probably the better word now, are really important in creating a club. Just imagine that this is a big garage full of buses, or this is a district full of new club chairs. Those buses are ready to go to a new destination. And of course, what we wish is for each of these buses to have a driver, or as we call them, a new club chair. The district club creator has identified the destination of all these buses. She finds a new club chair, or what we call a bus driver. She finds a new club chair. The new club chair climbs on board, opens the doors, and takes on passengers on her way to the destination. So this is, I think, a really lovely analogy to explain the new concept of club creator. So the district club creator, as you can see here, is the one that has the task of coordinating the club creators process for the district. Now, some districts do not have a district club creator and often have the lieutenant governor as the district club creator, but Ute has in particularly thought of this position simply because it's quite a task for the lieutenant governor to also create new clubs, while her principal responsibility is to look after the membership. So if you haven't got a district club created in your district, make it a priority and identify somebody. Often it's a past governor. What we have seen is because they know the districts, they know the clubs, and they know the gaps in where there probably could be more Zonta clubs. So this is what we have: district club creators and new club chairs. Those new club chairs play a very important role collecting passengers along the way, getting to the destination. This is one of my favorite slides because it really, in a snapshot, shows you how Zonta is growing across the globe. These are 41 new clubs currently in formation all over the globe. As you can see, North America, South America, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, Asia, Africa. The clubs in red are the E-clubs because that too is a growing phenomenon. We see more and more E-clubs, and some of you have participated not so long in the E-club Global Forum, and certainly have shown that is another way in which we connect to Zonta in a virtual way. Not only are we growing clubs, we're also growing countries. On the left side, you can see countries that are currently already added to the countries. We have Rwanda in particular is now our 63rd country in which we have a Zonta club. And the other countries, yes, congratulations indeed. And the other clubs, the other countries that you see mentioned are currently in where we have new clubs in formation. So they're not quite there yet as a club in a country, but we're moving fast. And you can see some dots there at the bottom. And that is because we also have, well, it's happening every single day. We get new clubs in new countries for consideration. And the dots here represent at the moment, very exciting, Madagascar and Cameroon. So I don't know, District 18 is just rocking. They are superstars. What I also would like to point out here with this photo, and I did that in the previous session as well, and those on the eClub forum would recognize it. It's really lovely to see how the yellow roses, with their little buds there, are waiting to open up. And this is basically a portrayal of the new countries that we have. They're waiting there and they're slowly opening up and become beautiful yellow roses. And we also have a reason to celebrate, and that is we have 11 clubs chartered so far in all different parts of the world. And as you can see that on the left, the various districts, this is actually growing. As we speak, we have already one club that is just about to pay their dues, and then we have 12 clubs chartered this biennium. Now, in the last one, Rwanda, and Dansanet is particularly instrumental in this one here, the Zonta Club of Kigali, New Voice. And let me share this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful photo with you, a celebration of a new club being formed. I just love the photo, the smiling faces, and Governor Najim there, very proudly cutting the cake together with the new members of the Zonta Club of Kigali, New Voice. Congratulations, District 18, and we will celebrate this in a bigger way closer to the end of the year. Now, this is my pleasure here, and I'm just going to hand over to Zonta International Member Chair Teresa to introduce this video. Teresa is the architect of these top results videos. Would you like to introduce this, please?
Okay, certainly I will. Thank you. Well, every month, headquarters puts together a numerical statistical report that goes to your governors and to your lieutenant governors. And that's very nice. But we found we can digest it and put it together and see where your district is. This is the month of May. June is coming soon. Every June is the results of renewal. So traditionally we see a drop, which is disheartening, but we have the whole next year to build it back up again. And I know that we will with all the growth that we are seeing. So this is May, it's the end of the first year of the biennium. If you've seen this before, you know that on the bottom, it tells what happened last month and what happened this particular month, which is May. But what I'd like to do right now is when you, first of all, show me your jazz hands. Yes, big hands. Okay, good. When you see your district on here, I want you to do this. Okay. All right, roll them. It goes fast, so keep your eyes open.
You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you've tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet. That you showed up was written in my palm. You are a statement that explode like a bomb. I get to push myself to victory. You make me winner. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You showed me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way.
Campaign.
You showed me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day.
Oh, I love these videos. Very, very lovely. Well done. And did you want to introduce the YouTube channel now? Because I'm pretty sure everybody here is already subscribed.
Well, just in case you're not, I will put the join link in the chat right now so that you can subscribe if you're not. These appear on there. Earlier, I put links to our other club creator meetings. The meetings are not open to the public. You do need to have the link for the meeting recordings, but I'm going to put the YouTube stuff right now. I have a question in here from Lieutenant Governor Debbie Sundberg saying, where do we get the membership report? You have to go to it. It's on the ZI website under Leadership Access, Membership, and then the report is there. So you do have to fish a little bit to see it. If you need more help with that, we're always available to you. And so is your regional rep.
Know your numbers is really important because it also then tells you whether we are achieving our goals or not. we are going to move into breakout rooms. Just a few tips before we do that. In a moment, I will assign you to breakout rooms. And what will happen then is that when you get into your groups, we will probably have, how many do we have online? I think we've got 17. Okay, so we probably will have 4 breakout rooms. When you get into the breakout room, one person should click the green share button and select the whiteboard. And what will happen then is during the breakout session, you can talk and take some notes about the communication between the governor, the lieutenant governor, and the district club creator, between the new club chair, say, and the district club creator. The purpose is really to have some conversation and find out what's working, and also to share some ideas. It's really about sharing best practice. Now, what will happen is that a bit closer to the end of the breakout room, I will ask you to save your discussion if you have used a whiteboard, and you can find the save button on the annotation bar that you will see when you open up and you use your whiteboard. Now, I just want to highlight something here, or perhaps I should say emphasize something. If you're not familiar with a Zoom whiteboard, or you don't really know how to use it, it's okay. What you can do then is just talk to each other, and when we come back, share with us some of the points that you have raised during your conversation. Okay, now if you don't also know how to save, you can also, of course, always take a photo with your camera of the notes that you have on your whiteboard. We have different ways in which we can capture that. So I'm just going to stop share now. Are there any questions about the Zoom whiteboard at this stage? No? Okay.
A fast recap.
One does the green button, then they select whiteboard, then they can select text, and one person, they can type, and then they have to push that save button.
Yeah.
You know, I'm glad you mentioned the save button. The first time I did it, I didn't push the save button, lost everything. And then you could always take your camera on your phone and take a picture, so that works too.
I'm going to open the rooms. Slowly coming back. Nice. We'll just wait for everyone to come back. Okay, fantastic. Okay, yes, everyone back. I think we all have rejoined. I'm so keen to find out how the discussions in the 4 rooms, how they went. And so we might start with room 1. We had Dunstan, Judith, Sheena, and Teresa in one room. Share with us what was discussed in your room.
Okay, I'm just sorry, I'm trying to find where it's saved to.
Where it's saved.
Well, I know where it should have saved to, but I'm trying to find the information.
It would be in documents. If you didn't specify anywhere else, it's in documents.
No, I saved it to a specific place. I'm just kind of looking.
Oh,
here,
okay.
folks.
That's okay. Want to bounce to 2 first? Give her time.
We're part
No.
of
We'll bounce to 2. That we'll come back.
Okay, yes, we have Anna, Connie, Florence, and Laura. We're in room 2. Please share with us what you discussed. If you can't find your photo, we can have a verbal update. Oh, there we go.
Oh, look at that. She shared her screen.
I know.
Oh,
Look at her. Okay, take us through it, please. Did you want to give us a verbal update on that one? No, we might go to room 3 while you're probably.
Are you asking for room 2? Room 2, we can give an update.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that, Connie. Go ahead.
So we talked about, first of all, we had Florence with us from District 18, who has completed 1 club, the Rhonda Club, and also has 3 more information. One of the things she shared with us was the importance of having a former Zontian in the areas, or a Zontian who's moved to the area, and that can really create excitement and having that experience and knowledge. And that's kind of what we're seeing in District 10, where there's somebody working, a Zontian working in the area where we're trying to form a club. So that was a key thing. And even Anna talked about one that they're getting ready to try to start will be depending on a Zontian who's retired from an area and has contacts. So that seemed to be something that really worked. Also, Florence talked about how she got everyone started by doing a presentation to all our club presidents in the district and talking about the potential countries that they had that they could possibly form clubs in, and giving them the guidelines to get started. And then just being there, I think, to answer their questions was also a big piece her success. So District 9 also has a club information, District 10 does, and then District 6 is working on getting one. So that, Anna or Florence or Laura, is there anything else you would add?
No, I can't find my document. I saved it, but I don't know where it went.
Yeah, and perhaps at the next club creator session, we might actually spend a bit of time, because I must say that's the one thing that I also struggled with, to find where I saved my my whiteboard.
The
But
trick is to click Save and Finder, and it goes fast. And then you can tell it where you want it to be. Which
It just said
I would
save in P and C, and I didn't know what that meant.
yes, yeah, it
save
goes
and
to
B and C.
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. Thank you so much, room 2. We might go to room 3, where we had Ina and Jane and Nadine and Sue talking. Share with us what was discussed in your room. What were some of the takeaway messages that you have for us?
See this whiteboard? Hold on.
Yes,
Comment
it's loading. It's
Ah,
loading.
there we go.
It's loading. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I
Yep.
can see it. Yep. Perfect.
Okay. Sorry. Oh, there we go. So we had a mix of strategies, I guess. Several districts did have bus drivers. In District 14, they have one bus driver is working on Cairo, which was pretty exciting, and one for a club in Germany. And it's interesting to me that with the language challenges, that they're focusing on an e-club that will be specifically English speaking, to be able to embrace more countries and languages. A few other things, Lieutenant Governor has not been involved there. In District 1, Governor, Lieutenant Governor, secretaries are a member of sort of a higher level committee. Dean, who is the bus driver for a club in formation in Rhode Island, where she has moved to, communicates back to the district board, but it doesn't sound like there's much communication across the individuals that are working on club formations elsewhere in the district. So that was something that seemed like that would be really useful. And as pointed out earlier, it's really ideal to have an experienced Zanchan in the community to drive that club creation. In District 7, myself as the Lieutenant Governor, our past governor, and 4 others are on a committee. We haven't been able to find a bus driver specifically for the 3 clubs we've identified as potential. We're pretty in the early stages, but we're really challenged because of the distance to that potential club. We're trying to fill in a state of Iowa and Nebraska. We don't have any clubs. And so trying to find someone boots on the ground who can help us has been really challenging, but we have a lot of frequent interactions and discussions. And District 24, quite new to the process, and the district club creator is working with the Lieutenant Governor to develop a strategy to how to move forward. Several others that are assisting at some of the very early stages and concentrating on an e-club is their best approach for their district.
Yes.
The other comment group?
That was a good summary. And I'm just so impressed with Jane, with your art, not only to save it, but also to find it. Well done.
No, that was a clip. How it gets saved, I'm not sure how, but.
Okay, all right. Thank you for that. Room 4, we had Annalie, Debbie, Jen, and Margarita. What was discussed in your group? Anybody wants to share? If it's something that has already been mentioned, that's okay. Just add to that. Who wishes to report on the discussion that took place in room 4?
I took notes on behalf of our group, and it was a real pleasure meeting the rest of the group. I just want to say that. And I absolutely cannot find the whiteboard. So my apologies about that.
No, that's okay.
I think the key things, as Jane just said, hi Jane, I remember you from the e-club forum, was having, and some of the learnings for me were having a previous governors or governor as a district club creator, the bus driver as an inspirational leader and potentially as the president of the new club to be created was considered to be discussed as being absolutely essential. And in fact, that once that person's in place, they really bring together. Other new members find it easier to join was one of the key messages there. The supporting membership option and paying of dues as soon as people are keen to join is for, I think, most of us something that is this is the first time we've heard of it, and it's good to know that that option is there. And also joining an existing club until the new club, whether it's an e-club or a bricks and mortar club, is great to know that that's an available option as well. We discussed those things, but certainly the time that it takes and the support that clubs need to form, and some of the key things that have been discussed are great takeaways.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you. Good summary. At room 1, I'm just going to come back to Dunstan, Judith, Sheena, and Teresa. How did you go with finding your whiteboard? Oh, look at that. Sheena has found it. Look at her going. Yay. Beautiful. Take us through it.
So this is part of my own learning. So this is wonderful. So I think with our group, we had a little bit more frustration being talked about, lack of communication and things like that, with some interaction between the district, I'll say the district club creator, and some of the other people on the team. So I think they're looking for more communications from the lieutenant governor and the district club creator in amongst all of the other clubs within the district to try to find where there might be people. Dunstanette also had concerns about possibly disbanding clubs before they're ready to disband. So I think there might have been situations in the past where Zonta International might have disbanded a club because they had not paid dues, or there had not been a communication. So at this point in time, I think it's valid to know that clubs have an extra 15 days beyond June 1st. And I think the other, with District 2, they seem to be having good communication. So that's Judith here, as well as Teresa. So they've got a bit of an end going on, and understand that at the same time, there is a bit of frustration, I think, from some of the club creators where they're putting out information, there's trying to get involvement, but at the same time, there's that kind of lack of reciprocal communication. And how do we do that? And then just potential difficulties connecting with potential members. So I think that was kind of like a little brief thing. I think we had a little bit of trouble with the whole whiteboard to start with. And if I may, I will add in my little piece that we've just created a new club in my district. And the basis and the real foundation of this was that we did have an active member who was going to be joining that club, and they had the resources within that community to draw from. And there was some work done before anything even was discussed of communication about what's Zonta going on. How can this community be involved in Zonta, with those type of communications going on before even club opportunities were even discussed. So that might work for other clubs. How it'll work in the rest of the district, I don't know. We're still kind of looking through that. But in that specific situation, it was invaluable having somebody who is going to be part of the club going forward. Did I miss anything, ladies?
I threw the Zonta app in the chat.
Yes, I saw that.
Oh, right.
Really,
sorry. Yes.
Yeah, go ahead,
That's
please.
okay. You did great.
Yeah.
No, I think Teresa brought up to having all the people who are involved with the new club creator to have them on an app with the Zonta app, whether it's a potential member or whether it's an existing member of the club, so that there's a bit of an incentive to be part of a team or be part of the club, even though they haven't signed up yet. So that may also help
as well. Yes, I think we've heard from all, so thank you so much. Just before we've got one slide left, but I just particularly want to find out if there's anything else, Teresa, that you wish to add to this really, really important point about communication. particularly between Lieutenant Governor, District Club Creators. Anything else that we haven't touched on, Teresa, that you wish to, particularly from where you are sitting? You are the chair and you see all these flows of communication happening or not. And I'm just particularly interested to give this opportunity here now before we move on to the final slide.
Okay, thank you. One thing that I noticed in both sessions is that we are very careful ladies. We don't want to step on any toes. So we heard people say, I don't want to contact them too often because I don't want to bother them. Or, oh, she knows everything, so I don't contact her. She already knows it. I don't want to be, and that holds you back until you have somebody say, don't text me again. And you keep contacting and you contact with joy and you contact with good Zonta spirit, right, Florence? And you keep them together and you want to be unity. So I think it was District 17 in a previous meeting said that she keeps 2 chats, group message chat. So use your Zonta app. One of them is for the kind of sort of thinking about it people. And the other one is for the people who have paid their dues, who are already in. So she shares with each group, but they all want to cross over to the in crowd. But if you're not sending any messages, there's no incentive to do it. So that's all I have to say about that. Frequency. It seems to be that the earlier session, I'll tell you, RSA was on, the one that has 26% growth. When we asked how frequently they talk, their answer was daily. Daily. And then we had one group that said, oh, we meet every 6 months. So I think it's important to find a balance. Ida.
Yes, I think it's also important not only to talk in the group, but to talk in the whole district, or as we try in Europe to talk cross-district borders, to let other people learn where you are thinking about a club. So that's my experience. If you start talking and at an area meeting or wherever, and you say, this is my idea, why don't we think about a club there and there? And then people say, oh, my nephew's wife is living there and my daughter's best school friend and things like that. And
so important.
That's how you get it going.
So you're saying having a welcoming environment in the district to allow thoughts and people sharing. Well, I know this person, I know that person. Yeah, that breeds growth. And absolutely.
We are just in a relaunch of our website, so I hope to get a place there where I can put some notes, like a kind of blackboard where people can see, oh, there's a club, I have an idea, I can connect to the district club creator, and she will share it with the bus driver on site. So I think this is somehow my idea at present.
Good.
All right, we have one slide left that I wanted to share with you, and you will recognize this from the previous Club Creator session, again highlighting the importance of making a guest list. And Judith at the last meeting shared with us how to do that, have the date set for the event, and then continue to work on the numbers until you're ready to charter. But this is probably the slide that we're just going to spend a little bit of time on, because this is also one of the most asked questions to really get around the chartering. And Teresa, I'm just going to hand over to you because you often get this question asked. Is that right?
You're absolutely correct, Ansmarie. This is a happy question to have. How do we charter? We have our 15 now. What do we do? In the resources link, the Dropbox resource link, this is a whole bevy of resources, including a folder on chartering. And these will be transferring to the new website. Our international website's getting a facelift, and eventually we will have this there. But for now, you will find everything you need in the Dropbox folder. So once you have your 15 identified, and likely you have some people that are transferring, maybe they're transferring from supporting member, maybe they're transferring from a club. So you advise headquarters with an email saying, we have our 15, we're ready to charter. If there are transfers, those get done manually, and there's a form for that. It's in the folder. So you fill out if there's anybody transferred. Transfers have to happen through headquarters. And then you get an email that's a joy. And Ansbury and I both get a copy of this. We are so happy that your charter club is set up. And this means that your treasurer or president, or even the new club chair, could be anybody that has access to the money, goes in and pays the dues. And you can update the people's names, addresses, emails, typing very carefully the first time, and you pay your dues online, and then you are chartered. There's a form also to report the officers to headquarters because we want to integrate this club into the organization. Every year in May, the president's job is to submit this officer form. And so it's every May plus when you charter. Okay, so we want to know, and certainly send a copy to your district so they know who's who too. And then the last but not least is you get mail. In the real mail, you get your gavel and sounding board, you get your charter, that is a savable item. I'd save it, physically and also digitally. And you get a welcome letter from President Uta. And hopefully all along this way, from the moment that you start meeting to chartering ceremony, you're taking photos. Wasn't it beautiful to see the pictures from Rwanda? And could you tell that they were all on the same team, wearing the same color? Those were really nice. So that's the chartering process in a nutshell. There is a handout in the chartering folder that gives it to you step by step. And if you need help, we're as close as your phone. Hit us up on the Zonta app. Okay, I think we have one more slide, don't we?
Yeah, I think we have, and this is it.
Can I ask a question in between?
Yes,
No.
go ahead.
Just kidding. Yes, you can. What? What is
Rita,
it, Ina?
do you have an idea how long it takes at present when they...
A minimum of 2 weeks. Once we all come in at the same time, like if you just did it recently, it's a month, but it's usually 2 weeks is a good rule of thumb.
Worldwide?
Oh, are you asking me how long does it take once you write for the chartering? Or are you asking me how long does it take to make a club?
Well, I remember my own charter. I was a charter president of my club, and we already had planned between our meeting and the dues payment and the charter ceremony. We had quite at least 4 or 6 weeks. And the packet with the gavel came the day before, and it was stuck in customs. So I got it. So,
yeah.
Oh,
we had to do a charter ceremony with somebody else's gavel. It's symbolic.
Yes, that was plan B.
Yes. But we always have to be flexible in our hips, as Uta says.
Yes, but it would be good to know for the planning of the charter ceremony, if you at least have an idea how long it will take. And sometimes it takes half a year until I get my printed Zonta copy.
Oh no, it will not take half a year.
And I open it up and then, why is it President Sharon? We have President Putin today.
Right. It is sometimes tricky with customs, but we can track it. It comes by the post office and you can hunt it down. In Rwanda, we had one that was hung up a little. It was there in April, but we just had the charter ceremony recently and they had to go. So, there's individual situations, and you just deal it. You put links to various things in the chat. May these be sent in an email? Yes, you will get all of these. Okay, we're at our time, but I want to give you some special information. If you look at Margarita's background, Zonta says no, as experienced Zontians that we have the 16 days of activism. And in preparation for the 16 days of activism, where we ask all clubs, even clubs in formation, to take an action. In preparation, Zonta International holds a virtual summit. And this year, it's going to be different dates. It's going to be November 6th through November 8th. Who can tell me what's so special about November 8th?
That's our anniversary.
That's right. It's the Zonta International birthday. And as part of the summit this year, we are going to celebrate all the clubs that got birthed, if you will, that were born during this biennium. So Some of you have clubs that I know Annalise got a club that's already been chartered and working on another one. No matter where you are in the cycle, even if you didn't even start till today to make a club, you can be recognized in this celebration. And the whole Zonta world will be invited to attend. And we are going to have a video. This is a little advanced information. Oh, Julianne has joined us. Hello, Julianne. Bonjour. And we're going to have a video of pictures from each of the clubs that have formed. So you saw the Rwanda picture, you saw that cake. You could almost touch it and feel it. When you're trying to make a club, you can really appreciate the joy of that image. So we'll have these images together, but they're only going to be of the clubs that formed. And this is November 8th. So we have to have some advanced time to get this together. So I'm going to say that you want to be chartered, I would say no later than October. Now, I want to tell you that Madagascar is going to be considered as a new country next month. But the first session today, the person who is the new club chair was on, and she knows she needs 15 people. She's already got the 15 people. So you're ready to go. When you're focused and you know what you want, you can get it done. We just need 15 human beings. The new club chair is probably going to be one of them plus 14. And get them on board and start them right up. There's a saying, rip off the Band-Aid. You know, sometimes if you take it off slowly, the longer it waits, people come in the front door and they go out the back door. Get it going, get it started, get them together, and let's build a better world for women and girls. So the video will be shown. I'm already putting it out there, November 8th. And if you have a club, I know Anna is already in the thinking stages of a club. She hasn't even filled out the form yet, that she's going to be thinking about a lunch club in Chicago. But yet I'll bet you she'll be on that video. So I encourage you to do, I know Nadine is, because you have what do you have, 18 already? And you just submitted your request recently.
19.
19, beautiful. It doesn't have to take forever. So that's what I want you to say. Just focus on what you want and get it done. I want to thank Anne-Marie for a wonderful session today. Thank you very much. I think she did a good job. Yay.
Thank you so much.
I don't know if anybody else want to add anything before we disconnect and go on with our day.
Yes, because I think for some of you, you have to get ready for work. And as always, these sessions really give me true delight because I can feel the Zonta spirit. And I think that by coming together and enthusing each other and motivating each other, inspiring each other, sharing with each other, we continue to grow as an international organization and help to realize Uta's dream of building a better world for women and girls. So thank you from the bottom of my heart again for your contribution today. Really appreciate it. And I can't wait for November, where we are going to have a big party to celebrate the welcoming of these new clubs that we are going to create. So best of luck with your club creation journey. And remember to reach out anytime to Teresa, to myself, if you have any questions, because we are only one click away. Use your Zonta app to connect with us, and we will make it happen. Okay.
And one of the things I would like to say is, if you're a new club chair, you reach out to your district club chair. If you're the district club chair, you reach out to our chief club creator. And that's our chain of communication to get the job done efficiently. So thank you. And those of you who have asked, the Marvelous Monday membership moments will resume in November as well. And well, thank you for being here.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi.
Bye, everyone.
Look at this, the next.
Hi, Lauren.
Bye.
Bye,
Talk to you later.
Bye, Teresa.
Bye-bye. Good to see you. You guys are the shining stars. Bye-bye, Julianne. Beautiful lady. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, Florence. Bye, Dunsinette. Bye, Julianne. Bye-bye.
Bye, Baby Rosie.
Hello there. I had to drop off, so I just thought I'd come on again for the end of the session, but not in the breakout rooms.
Okay, I see. Okay, now I understand.
Okay, thank you.
How are you? Are you good?
I'm good. We are doing real well on one of our clubs in Sheridan, Wyoming. We hope to charter in October. And we have 8 members now, so we have a few more that we think will join.
Oh, I'm so pleased. Yes.
And then the Parker Club that I'm working on in Parker, Colorado we have an open house scheduled this month.
Oh, okay.
And so we're lining up all the people to come, and we've had kind of a slow summer because our bus driver has been out of town.
Oh,
and you know, summer's hard on
yeah.
people.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I understand. I think that
so we're gonna
holiday
get it going in in the fall.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
But we have several members that joined the Denver club because the Douglas County club disbanded, which is in the same area. And so we're hoping they'll, move over to Parker. They live closer to Parker than they do Denver.
Yeah, yeah.
So we have quite a few that, and actually there's a few women in the Denver club that might move over because they live closer, and that's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Because we'll have them as members.
That's right. Yes. Ultimately, it's the number of members that counts. I'm just going to let them know that they have 1 minute left.
Joyce, I like your bus driver title.
Well, I couldn't connect with I probably wasn't awake, and I was hearing all the initials, and I thought I didn't hear what mine was. I thought, well, I know she told me I was a bus driver. I guess that's just what I'm going to be.
Need to get you a hat.
I didn't think it said BD. I think those were the initials, and they went. And I thought, oh, I'm not going to change it again. So
no, I love it. I love it. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we are all
that way.
back.
I do feel that way. I'm going to tell you, I feel that way that I'm driving around trying to find people,
Oh, well, I can't
So it
wait
does
to
fit.
hear.
It really does fit. I'm going to tell you, it does fit after being having been a governor, now trying to be a bus driver. I don't know which one I want to be.
Actually, I think it was a suggestion that the past governors were actually the perfect people to be the district creators, but also because they're so well connected, they know.
Yes. Know the clubs, they know the people.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Now, Teresa, how come you're not a co-host? What happened? Did I not make you a co-host?
I don't know,
I
but
can't
I could
believe that.
It's okay. Nobody died.
No, but I'm trying to find out why I can't. I'll just have to see.
I just want to point out that Nomina, can you wave your hand? She's wearing burgundy if you can't see her. We're talking about the speed of clubs from Madagascar. Her club, Madagascar, has been requested to be a Zonta country, and it will be addressed in the August international meeting. So it's not even approved yet. And when I told Nomina she needs 15 people to charter in a week's time, she gave me names, phone numbers, emails, and pictures of 15. So very fast. So you'll see her charter very soon. And remember, in the old days, we used to think it takes 2 years, but when you have focus and direction and you know what you want to do, you can do it.
Now, I was going to say, how are the breakout rooms? I'm not sharing screen at the moment, am I? No. Now, I'm just going to find out, how did the conversations in the breakout room go? I actually might start with you, Teresa, because you were in group 4 with Didi and Liliana and Ria.
Yes, and Ria was our scribe and took good notes. We're not sure if those notes disappeared. We did the white.
I don't know how it comes.
We can still say verbally.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the purpose as well. If you haven't can't retrieve your photos or your pictures or your saving, please just share with us. What were some of your 1 or 2 or 3 tips that you wish to share?
Ria, do you want to share the takeaways?
We learned that most of the participants met at least once a month, and they also met in between, mostly by Zoom. We talked also about the Zonta app, and Teresa explained the advantages of the Zonta app. I think these are the highlights of our talkings.
Okay, thank you so much, Ria, for sharing that. I might go to Diana, Donna, and Florence, who are in group 1 or room 1, I should say. Anything else that Ria hasn't mentioned that you actually talked about?
Well, it was a very interesting group because some of the fast forward buttons we were talking about were difficult in some of the new clubs that were in Nicaragua and other communist countries that you can't, there was a fear of being arrested. So using some of the tools of social media that we might use in different areas were not an option there. And the other place that was a challenge is Poland, and that Poland is not really a new country because they had a club that disbanded, but it's a new club, and that the politics there have really moved away from women's rights. So there's also, you're dealing with cultural challenges, if you will. So one of the things that that was noted from folks is that fast forward could be a crash if the cultures are different, and needing to be aware of that. There was also some talk about conflicts of the older and newer members, and that although, the real mentor and mentoring is a real benefit both from both groups, that there takes some time to communicate and be open about that from both sides, because that's actually been an area where some of the clubs had disbanded and now starting anew. What's the platforms? And we all agreed that the silver lining of COVID gave us much more skills and faith that something like these online methods really are of value, and learning how to use them well is worth all of our time and effort. So thank you for helping us with that.
Thank you, Donna. And actually, Teresa and I will take on board some of the comments here and work on that, because I do believe indeed that there are cultural differences, geographical differences. So what might work sometimes may not. But I think one of the things that I actually recall from a not so long ago conversation between Teresa and I, and it was about if you think it's easy, it's easy. If you think it's hard, it's hard. And that is essentially portraying the mindset sometimes that comes with that as well. And so far that it is certainly in every country there will have to be a different approach, but at the same time, the hopefully the way in which we have introduced creating clubs will still be done, even if it is, for example, without the benefits of social media. I'm going to go to Joyce, Kim, Steph, and Winnie, who also had a room and probably also have something perhaps to add that hasn't been mentioned before.
Right. We discussed how everything works in our club creating works in our districts, the goods and the bads, pros and cons so far in that first year of the biennium. District 8, they did use the past governors as a committee, and it helped. Unfortunately, the main area to focus on was Stephanie's, who is the lieutenant governor. So she is working very hard to open clubs in that area.
Yeah.
Joyce and I are District 5. These are both US districts. I was taught a little incorrectly, but so I am the club creator, but we do have a task force, and we picked active Zontians in every area of our district. But what we do, and Joyce being a bus driver, you guys see, I help but there's a Zanchin that heads up the area. She's heading up the formation of a new club, and she's more than halfway there. But we did discuss that in the US and possibly in other countries, there is a lull during the summer. So things were clipping really good. And then, you know, there's no meetings, people vacation, it's hard to get things done. So Winnie it was great from the membership committee, gave us advice that to plan now in August, get your task force or get your governors, get your group together to plan, you know, Zoom it, whatever, plan it. And then also, like Joyce, get maybe at the end of August, Stephanie told us that her club does a one-day retreat and talks about where the club is mid-biennium, or, you know, where they are, what's working, what's not in their projects. And we should maybe do that now. Basically, the thought was prepare now this month to hit it hard in September, get it going, because everybody, the mindset in the US is after Labor Day. I'm sorry, but summer goes through Labor Day. And so, but get ready, prepare now. Don't wait till after Labor Day to get going. Get everything kind of planned now with your clubs in formation, or, you know, with your clubs and or with your, like, say, your club creators task force. I'm planning actually a meeting with them later in the month, and to get things clipped on for our next area to open, West Virginia. Teresa, thank you. She's been on me. So
Kim, you are on the roll. You are on the roll. Well, in Australia, they have this expression, and perhaps it's actually all over the world. If you fail to plan, if you fail to prepare to fail. So I really like the approach that you have. So
well, that's from Winnie. That was Winnie Tao's
Winnie,
advice.
thank you for sharing
so
that
Winnie,
wisdom.
thank you. That was her advice to us when we asked the question. So
okay, I'd like to find out, Adrian, Beth, Serene, Elba, Russell, you were all in one room. Any additional comments that you wish to share about communication? Anyone?
I was asking, hi, I was asking about the international dues. I mean, when a new club is formed, usually you see less members, like there were 4 members, somebody mentioned. And then on the second meeting, she had 11. And on the third meeting, there was 120. So I was asking, do they have any problem paying international dues, which we have in our district 25, especially in India? Because during the time of COVID, a club was formed, Bhopal Club, and it was kind of sponsored by me. And I'm from Bangladesh, but it was in India. So what happened? The first biennium I sponsored, second biennium I went there again. I redesigned the club, the members and everything. And I said, I will pay half, you pay half, get some ownership. Now this biennium, they don't want to pay anything. So yeah, they think it's too much. And now I'm trying to open another club in Calcutta, you know, but again, the dues, when I mention about the dues, they say, oh, it's too much, Rotaries don't take that much. There are other platforms. And so I wish I was in India so that I could go to every state and talk about Zonta, what Zonta is all about. Perhaps it would have been easier to do it on Zoom or go there once or twice a year. It's not enough.
No, I think
so I have this constant problem of international dues.
Yeah, we are going to talk about the dues and the best way to do that, but I do indeed can see how that could be a barrier. I think particularly with one of the conversations that happens usually in the early start of creating a club is that members discuss the dues. And we have often mentioned that really if you convert it, I don't know what it would be in rupiah, for example, or in India, Indian currency. But I do know that sometimes it is not more than, you know, a cup of coffee, the cost of a cup of coffee a week, but I certainly can see how that could be a challenge indeed. We are going to talk about use online in a little bit later on, so I'll come back to that, Zareen, and see if we can find out a way in which we can make that more efficiently. The last group is Barbara, Donna, Marion, and Toku. Did you discuss anything else that you wish to bring up?
I'll speak for the group. It's
Okay,
Marion.
thank you. Yes.
Just we did try whiteboard, and but I have no idea if it was saved or not. So I may have to send you some notes. I think we went down a few rabbit holes because we were talking, and we did talk about some geographical challenges of the size of districts, and also we did find out very interestingly that in Lieutenant Governor Donna's area, that the district board has stepped in and taken over a large role in club creation. And I just thought that that was a unique way of approaching things, and it sounds like it's going very well with 3 clubs being in formation. And Toku in District 26, she had mentioned that it sounds like they're going to have a supporting meeting, getting together a lot of people in order to help a club go forward, and that's going to be toward the end of August that is happening. And then we did circle back to talk about how we could or how our flow of communication went, and nothing very different to talk about in that respect. Lots of good communication happening between the club creators and governors and lieutenant governors.
Thank you for sharing that. In fact, there are indeed more districts who have taken it upon themselves to assist with the club creation, and it's working well. I'm just going to go back to the slide, because we still have one more slide that I wish to share with you. But I think it was a very good, I always think that breakout rooms are a very good approach to discussion. And I probably think you all agree we had more time in the breakout rooms, because, it takes a few seconds to get off the ground and then you realize it's all over. But thank you very much for sharing that. I'm going to go back to do one more slide with you, and that is the one that I have mentioned before, which is about the process of creating a new club. In a previous slide, we have covered it like this: make a guest list, have a date set for the event, and of course, you work towards getting the 15. Now, another way in which we can visualize the chartering, and I'm just going to go back here to the steps. I think I'm just going to hand over to Teresa here, because you have had quite a few questions about the charter process. I feel that perhaps this is really an important one to share, to make sure that it is better understood. And certainly Zonta has a really good resource managing your club charter online. But is that okay, Teresa, if I ask you to take us through this chartering process using the ladder here?
Sure. Happy to do it, and try to stay in our time. So everybody knows that as soon as you think this is a new concept, this biennium, as soon as you think of a club that you wish to create, you fill out your form and request to create it. If it's a new country, it needs authorization, and all requests for a new club need approval from the district governor and then from headquarters. So then you scurry around, you get your 15 people, you tell them about the dues, and don't apologize for dues. Never apologize for our dues. I can't believe that we run a global organization on such a little amount of money. When you think about it, it's really amazing what we do, and be proud and tell it right up front. Sometimes we feel funny about it because we're women and we're nurturing, and we say, oh, there is dues and it's this much. Be right out there and say, hey, you probably think that dues is $300 a year, but it's only $88 at international. Tell whatever your district is. So now you've got your 15 people lined up. They're ready to go. Do not let a lot of time go. Rip that Band-Aid off, get it going, because the longer you wait, the more people will drop off. So get, like Nomina did, get your 15 right away and get going. So now you've got your 15, they're ready to pay the dues, they fill out their application, you're ready to charter. What do? Here's how you land the airplane. You advise headquarters at member records, the link is on the slide, that you're ready to charter. Sometimes you may have members that are in another club, because you'll remember at the outset of this event, Anza Marie said, as soon as someone said, yes, I want to join Zanta, attach them either as a supporting member or part of a club if you have a sponsoring club, with the understanding that they're going to transfer once the new club is established. So how do you do that? You tell headquarters the names of the people, and they will manually do the transfer. This way, the person doesn't lose their service years. So that gets done. And then they will advise you that your charter account is set up, and they will give you some direction on how to access that account online and how to pay your dues. And then once that happens, by the way, we have a 12th club just ready to do it. Their charter club is set up and they're just ready to pay their dues. As soon as the new club chair pays the dues online, then they get a notice of a charter, and a package is mailed out to them, has the gavel and it has a letter from the president, has a charter that should be saved, and then you plan a celebration. When you're organizing, you'll need to figure out who's going to be your officers, and headquarters needs to know that. So you'll report your club officers to headquarters, and some of this material is in the Dropbox link for you as well. And I think that's it.
Thank you for that. Now we're slowly inching closer to the end. I think it's important that we talk about what's going to happen next time. I'm just going to say, when I say next time, as I mentioned, this is the 4th in a series of Club Creator sessions. And we had planned to have a global celebration, or a very special celebration, to mark the creation of new clubs. And we were going to have a event initially planned in the last quarter of the year. And then Teresa and I were talking about inviting, of course, President Ute, and then President Ute made a suggestion. Is that right?
Basically how it is, in preparation for the 16 days of activism, Zanta International has a wonderful program once again this year in the month of November. Please mark your calendars. It's a virtual summit that you will love to take part in. It's going to, Megan, if I've got these dates, I believe it's 6 through 8 November. And at the culmination, who knows what November 8th is?
It's the birthday.
I know the answer.
That's right.
It's the answer.
It's Wednesday.
And on that day, we're going to invite all of Zanta World to celebrate with us the clubs that were born in this biennium, and we'll do it on Zanta's birthday. So Ansmarie and I really, really hope, Kimmy's got a, hey, you can show some signs, jazz hands. That's good. Thanks, Adriana. So we're going to celebrate all the clubs that were chartered this biennium. So we already have 11.5. I'll say 0.5 because one just has to pay the dues. And then we have some other ones coming along. We have how many? 39 in addition. And once we have those chartered, you'll be allowed. Now, we want to put together a special video. And this is a hush, this is a secret. So, you can tell people that you're working with, but don't tell everyone. Did you enjoy seeing that photo from Rwanda's charter ceremony? I don't know, I got a little tingle when I saw it. I love it. And Uruguay, RSA has shared with us pictures from their charter ceremony. Lovely. Sometimes we get videos. It's fabulous. So we're going to ask each club to put a little piece, send us a little bit of material that we'll put in a lovely video. And Ans and I and headquarters would love for your clubs to be included in that. Now, I cannot put a video together overnight. So we have to determine when the deadline is going to be. I'm going to imagine it's probably October. So remember, you can put a club together in a short time. even if you were just starting today, you could get a club together by October. And many of you have been starting beyond today. So I encourage you to wrap it up so you can be included in this celebration on November 8th, and stay tuned because it's going to be great and you'll want to be there.
Wow. Wow, what an invitation. And I think that some of you, for example, may already have meetings. Also record those meetings, you know, as not so much as in recording with a video, but I'm taking a recording, take a photograph of when you meet during your meeting. And because it makes also a lovely story when you show the first 2 or 3 people meeting, talking about it, and then of course, snapshots from your event, ultimately to charter. So I think that is a wonderful way to end. I have here also just a comment that Kim made, and that is about including the new district, the new lieutenant governor elect in October on your district club creator committee. Because it makes a smoother transition to the next biennium, and I think it's a gem. Do you see? I think it's really great to have that succession planning happening, and I think that the learnings from this biennium should absolutely not be lost and should be shared with the next one. Now, I think we have now reached the time. We are probably all going, well, certainly in Australia, ready for almost midnight. I really wish to thank you all again. And I said to Megan while we were in the breakout room, I really wish to acknowledge in particular the interim executive director, Megan, for making the time to join this session. Really appreciate that. And I'd like to think that you, Megan, that you picked up some of the conversation that has gone on during the session. We really know that you have an extremely busy job there, juggling all these balls. But so we do appreciate the fact that you have just taken some time out of your busy schedule to join in on our final Club Creator session for this year. Then that leaves me to say, oh, we've got a message there from Mila there. Oh my goodness, you got your chartering ceremony this Saturday. Well done. Congratulations, District 17. I must say, you rock. I think I mentioned that every time we have a club creator session, I see in the chat box, oh, just want to mention we have another club created.
Our club was able to create a new club for the last 3 bienniums. So this is the 3rd club that we have chartered.
Fantastic. Congratulations. I'm very happy, and congratulations for that wonderful achievement. Okay, people, I'm going to let you go back to your work, back to your bed, back to your scotch and soda if it's that time of the day in your part of the world, or a sherry. And thank you again. I really appreciate that. And we will be looking forward to continue to work with you to creating a club and building a better world for women and girls. Good night. Good morning.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.